Hello, everybody. How you doing? So, I'm here right now. This is so awkward to give like an official start. We should have just started talking without introducing or anything.
Like, what the fuck are these guys doing?
Yeah, I know. But I'd rather them think, what the fuck are they doing, than go through the awkward
but then
introduction.
The first half of the show would have just been like, hold on, I'm still trying to figure out what the fuck's going on.
So, here's the deal. I'll give the awkward introduction anyway. So, obviously you guys know me 'cause this is my channel. Hey.
The famous Kyle Kowinski now.
And that other voice you're hearing is actually the former co-host of Secular Talk. Only the long-time listeners know that there was... You know what I mean? Like, how long ago was the last time you were on the show? A year and a half, maybe?
Is it? I feel like it's longer than that.
I don't know, because when did I start doing this full-time?
Well, when did you leave the car dealership? It's got to be like...
2012?
Yeah, and you've been going strong maybe since like a couple weeks after that.
That's only but that's 2 years and change, right?
Yeah.
So it's probably a year and a half ago that was the last time you were on. I know it feels like it was 8 years ago.
It feels like, a while. So whoever's still listening...
And there are, know, Lilith,
really?
Lilith, who is the community ambassador for Secular Talk. She does the Facebook page and everything. I mentioned it to her,
she's great.
And she was like, "Oh yeah, no, I remember." But she didn't remember your name though. I was like, "What's his name?"
Yeah,
remember
that's
that? She's like, "No, I don't remember his name." So anyway, this is Corin. Corin is my co-host and my best friend, and we decided that it'd be a good idea because I'm so tired of I mean, I love it. Don't get me wrong.
You do an awesome job.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. Doing the show day in and day out, but. Just to hang out and talk about anything, because right now, people know when I'm doing the show, I'm wearing a jacket and button-down shirt and stuff. Right now, I got on a Nike cut-off sleeve shirt.
Yep.
I got pimply-ass arms and face showing.
I got my backwards Dodgers hat on.
Yes.
Even though I'm a Yankees fan.
Which is random. But, so we decided just fuck it, we're going to talk about whatever. And
I know I text you during the week and you text me about, we just talk about whatever's going on. So you came up with the idea to let's get on air and talk about
And dude, I already enjoy this format more than what I do because I have 15 stories in front of me. I got clips to worry about. I'm like, all right, where am I going next? I got to say this, I got to say that, and John Boehner's an asshole, and yada yada. And it's nice to just kick back and relax and talk about whatever. So, for people wondering, is this going to be political? It depends. Maybe some shows will talk nothing but politics. Other shows will talk about no politics at all. Just whatever the fuck comes to our minds.
My politics knowledge is there a little bit, but most of the time I'm going to say to you, what was that dude's name again? But I keep up to date with the politics, but not as much as my... miscellaneous shit.
Yeah, and well, it's nice to take a break anyway from politics every once in a while. So I jotted down, this is going to sound super weird, but when I was in the shower yesterday, I was like, I knew we were going to have this podcast today and have this discussion. So my mind was running. I never stop and think about the past. Like, what things happened that me and him can talk about? Like, what happened? And some things started hitting me. Mm-hmm. So many different stories popped into my head. And I was like, at the time, these were not funny. But now looking back at it, oh my God, they're funny / we're the biggest morons on the planet. So I wrote down a few things, and we'll get to stuff later. Like, for example, me and him were talking about, there was a story that came out this week. I didn't cover it on Secular Talk. I saw the Young Turks covered it, but it's the story about that 16-year-old kid who had a threesome with his teachers. We wanted to talk about that. We both have strong feelings about that. So we'll get to that. Hopefully, I think we will. There's some other stuff I wanted to get to also. I know you wanted to talk about LeBron's hairline, which is an awesome topic. We'll get to that too. But I actually wanted to start off, you ready for this? I'm springing this on you, with poker stories.
Ooh.
Not poker stories in the sense of like, hey, remember that time, I had a full house and lost to a better full house and then cried. Mm-hmm. I didn't actually cry. I maybe actually cried. But I don't want to talk like that. I'm talking about, I jotted down a few that popped in my head that I want. Obviously you remember these, but I think the audience would love hearing these stories. So,
and just a background quickly, we've been playing poker since... did it even start late middle school or was it early high school?
You might have started a little earlier than me. I started, I think, in high school. I don't know whether it was 10th grade or 9th grade.
Well, there was that big wave of Texas Hold'em.
Exactly. See, that's the first thing I wanted to mention. You took the words right out of my mouth because, no, it's okay. Because, what's his face? Chris Moneymaker.
Moneymaker.
Okay. We were the perfect age for the Moneymaker revolution, right? Because it was 2003, which means we were 88, 90... 15 years old or so, right? That's the perfect age where like you're just impressionable enough, like you just started beating off nonstop, but you want something else to do, and you're like, okay, what should I? And then you turn on.
You have a little bit of money. You just started working. You know, like.
Well, I didn't. I got allowance from my mom. No, actually, I did. I worked at Cherry Lawn, the driving range.
Yeah,
So I did. And caddied a little bit.
Yeah, 15 our age, we were getting some money in our pocket.
Yeah, and so I didn't realize it until later on, but like we were too busy trying to be badasses at the age of 15, but we succeeded.
Yeah.
Because when we were, I don't know what it was, 17 years old, maybe 18 years old, and we were in like underground,
shady,
mafioso, shady as fuck poker clubs.
Like top of the line places too. Like A-Rod's coming in. Like Jonathan Vilma used to be on the Jets.
I don't know if that's true.
No, I mean,
did you see him or no? I never saw anybody
I
famous.
heard stories like maybe a week before he was there. I never saw him. Maybe Jonathan Vilma. I don't want to incriminate any guys.
Yeah, I never saw any famous people there, but what I did see there was a lot of dudes who were either fake mafioso or real mafioso, and they just finished throwing somebody off a bridge. And they probably call people hey, Tommy Nickelbacks, whatever.
Yeah, there was this guy, the guy from the deli, I forgot his name.
Scalabeep.
And
a dude named Scalabeep. Whose name Scalabeep is? And I still don't know to this day. Is that a nickname? Is that his last name?
I have no
Did somebody
idea.
just make? Did I make that up?
I mean, like we were young, good-looking dudes, and we would go to these places Friday nights, Saturday nights. So we're sitting with the scums of the earth.
Yeah, here's what wasn't happening. Me getting my penis touched on a regular basis.
Yeah, I mean, but that was happening on Tuesday, Wednesdays.
No, I mean... Well, I don't want to bring up... I feel bad bringing up... I don't want to bring up, like, former girlfriends' names and stuff. Yeah. But I had girlfriends, and, you know...
Yeah,
but it's true that in that specific time frame, like, I think my first girlfriend, we broke up around the time I started playing poker, and then I just fucking played poker nonstop.
Yeah.
So these really were... We were young. We were in these underground clubs. I don't know why the fuck... Well, I do know why they let us play. They want money, but...
Of course.
But, like, thinking back on it now, like... It might have been a good thing for them to say, how old are you, 15, 16? Like, get the fuck, like, what do you, stop.
Like, yeah.
So, here's a few of the stories that come to mind.
Good.
All right, so first of all, we have a friend, he won't care, so I'll say his name, it doesn't matter, Tommy, okay? So, Tommy was just like us, played poker all the time, good player, and kid. out of nowhere, right? He was dead broke like the rest of us, out of nowhere.
Like, dead broke, like asking to borrow money broke.
And how old was he? A junior in high school at this point?
Yeah, probably a junior.
Probably junior in high school.
Just started driving.
So he ended up hitting what's called the bad beat.
Yeah.
Okay, at this poker place. Now I don't remember the exact dollar figure. 10,000, something like that. 5,000.
More than that.
More?
If I'm not mistaken, I think it was like, wasn't it like $30,000 or something like that?
$30,000.
Because what the club would do to get a bad beat. At this club, I'm sure it happens at other places because I know we saw it at other places. You have to have, basically, for non-poker people out there, an absurd hand has to be in another absurd hand. And if it doesn't happen for a certain amount of time, every week, that pot goes
money
up
piles
and
up,
up and up and up and up because they take a rake from the pot.
Right, yeah.
So at this place that we played, it hadn't happened for like months. That was like the thing when you came in. It was just like, how much was the bad beat? And it was like, it just went up. Like, it's still going up. So, yeah, I mean,
it was really that much, though? See, I don't remember the details.
I think it was like $32,000, and everybody at the table got a cut, and he got the...
Yeah, a gargantuan amount of money. So anyway, we're like, snot-nosed punk-ass kids, and none of us have any fucking money, and then our buddy Tommy just got rich in our terms. I mean, for anybody when they're that age, that's a metric fuck ton of money.
Especially from what had happened like the night before where he's saying, can I borrow $100?
Right.
Like, I got to
That's the part of the story that's the most fascinating is I remember you telling me all the time, like, yo, Tommy just asked me to borrow $100 or whatever. And it's like, oh, and now this dude is fucking, he just struck gold, man. So what happens next, I think, is the more fascinating part, okay? So with that money, and people are going to think this is a bullshit story. I promise you this is not a bullshit story.
True.
Maybe I'll get Tommy Kaplan on the show to verify it,
seriously,
okay?
we can get him on the phone.
So this dude ended up with that money. I don't know whether it was just through online poker or going to Vegas or both, but he became a ranked professional poker player and made a shitload of money.
Yep.
Okay, we're talking dollar figure amounts that,
Bought a house in Vegas.
Bought a house in Vegas. None of us have seen this amount of money yet, even though I think I'm doing pretty well, but I'm nothing compared to Tommy Kaplan. I mean, Tommy Kaplan's on, some other shit.
Yeah, absurd.
So stop and think about that, man, because in all seriousness, like, since it happened to us and it's in our circle of friends, we don't really, dwell on it much.
Yeah.
But telling that story to other people, it clicks with them, and they're like, oh, right, that's like a fucking Hollywood-esque kind of story of like, almost even like an American dream type story.
Yeah.
Of like, okay, not struggling, yada, yada, boom, takes off now through his own. And by the way, it is a lot of talent, too, with this kid. He knows how to play poker. You can't be a professional poker player unless you know how to play the odds and you know how to play the game and whatnot. So isn't that an amazing story when you really think about it?
It really is.
He went from nothing to, I don't want to give out the full amount, but... Rich by anybody's standards. Let's say that. Rich by anybody's standards.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I know stories. When I was in college, Tommy used to come visit me, and this was in like the peak of his, like, after he had already hit the bad beat, he'd won all that money, and he was already taking it to the next level with online poker. And it would be like a Friday night, and I'd be in college, like $5, $10 in my pocket, like my mom giving me allowance, and Tommy would come up to school and be like, and I'll be like, yeah, what do you want to do this weekend? I'll be like, well, I still got class in an hour, and he'd be on my bed with his laptop, and be like, and he'd smile. I'll be like, oh, what happened? He'd be like, oh, I just won like $12,000 in a hand. And that's no exaggeration. I was like, that's absurd that you're doing that. And he'd be like, yeah, my greatest thrill so far is being in college, sitting in like a big lecture hall, and just winning like $12,000, $15,000.
And you know what?
With the click of a fucking button.
With the click of a button. But this brings up, actually, if people were looking for politics in this show, I'll entertain them for just a second. Me and you spoke about this before the show, too. There was just one day where the federal government decided, yeah, no, we're going to freeze all the accounts on all the poker sites, and we're going to shut them the fuck down. Now, that's insanity, because think about that with any other, profession.
Or
like
fantasy
imagine
football, if they're just like, yeah, we've had enough of this.
No, but think about even try to kitchen table the idea even more. Imagine they walk into your gym and they're just like, okay, we're just going to shut down the gym and seize the funds. People be like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
But with gambling, for some reason it's more debatable and it's okay. No, motherfucker, they're doing what they want with their own money. This is nobody else's business. Yeah. And also, just to give people the perspective as to why they did it, they pretend like it's for moral reasons, like, oh, we need to stop these kids from ruining their lives, yada yada. The reality of it is, it's the casino lobbies that give money to the politicians, and the casinos were bleeding money because of online poker and online casinos. So they decided, we're going to call back some favors for all the money we gave these politicians, and we're going to make them pull the plug on internet poker because we're not making money from internet poker. Sheldon Adelson is a Republican donor. This guy lobbied against internet poker when he's made all his money from casinos.
Yeah.
And his argument was, oh, that degrades the morals of the nations. Motherfucker, you own casinos.
Yeah.
And no, it's
that guy's
insane.
Fascinating. I watched a special on him building casinos in, I think it was China or Japan or something. He had built up all his stuff in Vegas, and it was just like, let me do this in China or Japan. I don't know the exact
Probably
spot.
Hong Kong.
Yeah, Hong Kong maybe. And they were just like, dude, it's not going to work. And he was like, watch me. So, I mean, talk about a douchebag just taking advantage of people with money.
Yeah.
And then getting on someone else. For other people trying to make money on online poker,
Yeah.
he's like, no, you can't do that. You got to do that with me.
It's just a matter of freedom, man. And that would help big time, I think, the economy, too, because so many jobs would be created and whatnot. And, okay, so that's the first story I want to talk about. I got more here and I honestly, I kind of put them in order as like, so better.
It's like we're tracking
It
back
gets
our
better,
lives.
man. Yeah, I know. So this one I think is just hilarious because it shows how big of an idiot I am. So, me and you, I think I drove. Yeah, I definitely drove this day. Never mind. So we decided to go to a casino not a casino, an underground poker club in the city.
Yeah, that's the one where A-Rod and I feel like all those other guys.
Yeah,
that was like the top of the line spot.
Right. So, and we didn't do that much. We had more clubs near us. There was one in Yonkers and one elsewhere in Nershell where we would go to. And so we start driving there, and you look at my gas gauge, and you're like, yo, son, you want to like grab some gas or something? I mean, look at that. And this shows you the mindset of Kyle in high school. I look down at my gas gauge, and I see that for roughly the first 37 seconds of our trip, I didn't have my light on. And then after that 37 seconds, the light came on,
Yeah.
the low gas light. And I immediately said, totally brush it off. I said, no, that's all right, man. The light just came on. That means we got like 20 more miles, right?
And everybody makes up their own. I don't even I mean, this must be true, but everybody makes up their own little thing about their car. It's like, no, when the gas light comes on, I got at least like 60. And then someone else will be like, yeah, no, I know a guy. He once told me that if the gas light comes on, I get like 35 more miles.
By the way, to that point, where I got that 20 number from, I have no idea.
That's what I'm saying.
I have not the slightest idea where that number came
so
from.
I'm assuming I get extra 60, 75.
So we're driving there, okay. We hit some traffic on the way or whatever, but we driving along, okay. So we finally get there. I don't know how long the drive is, maybe 40 minutes, right? Something like that.
Yeah.
So we park, and we get out of the car, and we walk like 8 feet. And I stop, and I go, holy schmageggins, I don't have my fucking money on me.
Didn't have a wallet.
I didn't have a wallet.
Anything.
Yeah. There's a chance I may not have been wearing pants. Okay. Of course I was wearing pants.
That's
but
how
I
we
didn't
did
have my
stuff
wallet.
back in high school. We just woke up and we're like, yo, you want to go do this? We just got up and did it.
Exactly. Right. So we decide, I mean, look, it was, I think, a Saturday night or something like that. We were ready to have some fun. So we're like, okay, well, fuck it. Let's suck it up, be men, drive back, and we'll be all set. I'll get my money and we'll come back. So on the way back, I start feeling, and you know this feeling because you're like me with your car, where we're idiots, we don't fill it up.
Yeah.
Like my mom, for example, she's like, I only have 73% of the tank full. I have to go get more gas. I'm like, okay, I have 0.7% of the tank full. I'm good for a week.
Yeah, I must fill up before it gets below half.
So I start to feel as I press the gas pedal, I'm like, oh no. We're only maybe 10 minutes on the way back from the trip, okay? So we still got 30 minutes to go.
And I'm worried, too, because, and I'm not expressing my worriedness, but I'm a little bit in my head like, yo,
this is not good, right?
Yeah.
So I'm pressing the gas pedal. I start to feel how you have to press harder to get the same amount of oomph. Like, it's only working maybe 30% of what it should be working. And here's the sign of what that is. You're about to run the fuck out of gas. Okay, then we hit traffic.
Yeah.
Then we remember, oh wait, this particular area of the city has roughly negative 12 gas stations. So there was a moment, and also on top of that, there's no shoulder on the highway we were on.
Yep.
So I'm like, oh my goodness, our lives are over. Okay, because this was back, we were young enough where I think I had told my mom, like, oh, we're going to hang out in somebody's basement, right?
Yeah.
And we fucking go to hang out with mafioso fuckheads in the city and act like degenerates, right? So I'm like, oh my God, the end of my life, it's just over, right? It's just over. So the way the situation gets resolved is, you only had enough money, which it makes perfect sense because I only had enough money for this too, but just to play.
Yeah.
So, but we decided, look, man, there's no other option here. We're going to have to pull off, find a fucking gas station, hope we don't break down, and get like $5 or $10 worth of gas.
Yeah.
And then that'll, take us from E to a tank that's 4% full, but that'll have to be enough to get us through. Mm-hmm. And we somehow made it out of that situation, okay? But to end the story here real quick, when we finally finished that and then got to the place to play cards, this was a night where I busted out in roughly 3 minutes. It was just a night where the gods decided to spread their cheeks and shit all over my face.
Yep. We literally got to the gas station with probably the most least amount of gas left that you could have in the tank, if that makes any sense.
Just rolling out, man.
And the car was probably just like, fuck you.
Yep. There was another time where we went to play, I think it was in the city, and then for whatever reason, this was a weeknight, okay? This wasn't a weekend, but we ended up sleeping in your car. Do you remember this?
This one I don't remember. But
it was around...
Everything was a fucking mess.
It literally was around the block from your house. We just pulled over, and we tried to sleep in your car. I don't think we got any sleep, and then we ended up going straight to school with pretty much no sleep.
I think I do remember that.
You think you do remember this one, right? The reason why I remember this is because I remember thinking, what the fuck did we tell our parents Like, we just spent a day, and we were young, and we were just like, we're just not going to be home.
I might have just been like, I'm sleeping at Kyle's. You might have been like, I'm sleeping at
That
Corin's.
had to be
and then
it,
was
right?
Just like,
we just went to the club all night and probably lost money.
Oh, man. Those
Actually,
are fun times,
we might have won money that night because we would have been more miserable.
I think
you
so.
know, if
Yeah.
we okay. And then I saved the two best for last here. So there was another time. People are listening right now, by the way, going, okay. These are fucking bad dudes.
Yeah,
these guys.
I'm sure some people out there have some poker stories too, but we played in some wild spots.
But I think the thing about that makes it weird for us is that how young we were.
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
and we're going. You know,
that was like our first like experience of it. It's just like no, like getting your toes wet. It's just like no, just jump right the fuck in.
Diving right into fucking mafia places. So one time we showed up to the club in New Rochelle. And one of the dudes, it was closed for whatever reason. We thought it was supposed to be open that night, but it wasn't open that night for whatever reason. I don't remember, but they had multiple spots. So we showed up there, and there was one other dude who showed up there. Again, this guy doesn't know or doesn't care. I'll say his name, Jimmy. So this guy, Jimmy...
Could be dead.
No joke. This dude is roughly 350 pounds. Nobody knows his nationality. He could be Albanian.
Yeah.
He could be
like
fucking
Italian,
Sicilian. He
yeah,
could be
something.
Italian. Nobody knows. Okay, so he's there, and we decide because he offers, "Hey, you want to come to the place in the city or wherever it was? I think it was in the city. That night.
It was the city."
And we're like, "Well, we hadn't gone. This was, I think, the first time we went there. We're like, we don't know how to get there." He's like, "It's all right. Don't worry. You can hop in our car. We'll go, and then afterwards we'll come back here." Now, looking back on it now, how fucking monumentally stupid this is mind-boggling because the guys that went to that club, again, we could tell they're either fake mafioso or real mafioso.
Yeah.
Nobody, and look, based on that alone, you shouldn't get in the car either way, right?
Regardless if they're real or fake, the situation that those guys put themselves in now, they're not good people.
Right. So we got in the car, and this dude, drove in such a way where...
It was like Jeff Gordon mixed with the fucking guy from Twisted, what was that video game for PlayStation, Twisted Metal, where it was like the clown with the fire hair.
It was
driving the
Ricky
ice cream
Bobby
truck.
on crack.
Yeah.
It was Ricky Bobby on crack. I mean, I've never in my life, I don't know if I've ever feared for my life more than that, because we were going, 80 miles an hour, 90 miles an hour? On roads that could take 40 miles an hour?
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, this is like a movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a movie because there's no way this guy drives like this all the time because this is insanity. I mean, who drives like this? I was convinced at one point that we were just going to die.
Yes.
I was like, no, we're going to crash. It's going to be over. And I'm going to go out in this punk bitch-ass way, get in the car with a random dude and drive into the city.
That
And I don't
fucking,
remember, how did we get home that night? Did he drive us home too? I don't think he did.
I have no idea.
I don't remember. All
but
I remember on the way there going, oh, this is the worst thing
the
ever.
car would be on like two wheels on one side and then the other side, and I'm like looking at you in the back seat like,
we're going to die.
dude, is it just me or is this motherfucker driving like
And look,
he's
man,
got to get to the fucking end of the world before the shit like...
And look, I'm a respectable dude, so like if you're going, even if you're going 50% over what I think is acceptable to be in the car, you know what I'm saying? Like if it's a 40 and you're going 60, I'm really not going to make a peep. Like I'm going to be like, okay, it's safe enough.
Yeah,
I don't like it, but it's safe enough, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But we're talking way above and beyond that. So that was, I think, the second craziest story. And look, some people might say, whatever, fast car, it's not that interesting. If you were in the car, you would know what I'm talking about.
Exactly.
That this crazy dude who, 397 pounds, super mafioso, driving 7 trillion miles an hour. We're like, what did we do here? We made such a mistake. But the best story of them all. You ready for this?
Yeah.
So the place we went to in New Rochelle, this club we went to in New Rochelle, we went there. How many times would you say we went there? 30, 40, 50?
Yeah.
I mean, we were there often, okay? Played a lot. And so after a while, poker comes in waves for us. So it depends how busy we are, how much free time we have, if we're in the mood, if we're not in the mood. So there were, peaks and valleys. So we would go sometimes and play in local tournaments at our buddies' houses or, at the clubs for a year and then not play a lot for a year or whatever. And so it was in one of the down times, right? Probably at the end of the full time when we went there.
Mm-hmm.
And again, we're so familiar with the place. We're so used to it. And I don't know where you were when you learned about this. I might have called you and told you, okay?
Yeah.
I was in my room with my girlfriend at the time, and we were relaxing. I turned on the TV.
Relaxing in quotation marks.
We were fucking. But I turned on the TV, and it just defaults to News 12 for whatever reason. So a second I turn it on, they start to. I hear them say "Poker Club in Nourishau," and I'm like, okay, whoa. So I know, like, I don't know all of them. Probably we miss a few, but like we know them. You know, like we know most of them probably. So I look at the screen and they're showing like a fucking chalk outline on the sidewalk and shit, and they're showing like, you know, there's blood on the pavement, and they haven't explained anything yet. I'm still waiting for like what happened here. I don't know. Was there a stabbing outside of the club? Was a random drug deal gone wrong? What happened? What happened? Come to find out, the dude who owns and runs the club, who Corin and I both know very fucking well.
Yeah, I mean, he was a nice guy.
This dude had his hand chopped off by people that showed up with a fucking machete or butcher knife because of some sort of backroom mafia deal that went wrong, and he owed money and he didn't pay it back.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there, and meanwhile, my girlfriend at the time, she didn't know anything about the poker days or whatever, but my fucking jaw hits the ground, my face turns pale. I'm like, holy shit, I know that dude. He's got his fucking hand chopped off. Oh my God, I know he's got his hand chopped off, man. This is insanity. And then it struck me like, oh, yeah, you want to talk about, like, I realized at that moment that whenever my parents were trying to be protective back in the day, they were probably right. Yeah. Because, like, their whole thing probably boiled down to, don't be in a poker club when a dude gets his hand chopped off. And I very well could have been. And this poor fucking dude, man. I mean, I don't know where he is now. I don't know. Supposedly they were able to somehow get his hand back on or whatever. He's not the bionic man right now. But isn't that amazing that we frequented this place where this dude, looking back at it now, we're like, oh, sweet Jesus, what were we thinking? Yeah. What were we thinking?
Yeah, you told me. Yeah, I think you called me up and were like, dude, you put on Channel 12 News. And it was just like, it just cycles through the same news stories. And then it came back around and it was just like, same thing. New Rochelle Poker Club, guys, hand chopped off. And I was just like,
good googly moogly.
Like what?
Good googly moogly.
Like I shook that hand and now it's like sitting on the sidewalk.
It's insanity. So, by the way, you have any other poker stories? Because there's a few things I want to talk about.
I have one.
Fire away, man.
That this was maybe a couple years ago. I won't name places or anything.
Within reason, you can. Just don't. Not
okay, it was
ones
in
that are
Connecticut.
Too obvious. Oh, okay. Oh, I remember this story. Okay, and, go ahead. Tell this story. This is a great one.
And, I hadn't played poker in a while. And, I was working hard, had a few extra bucks in my pocket. And this place has a weekly tournament on Wednesdays.
And we used to go all the time.
We used to go all the time and play in this tournament. It was fairly inexpensive, maybe $60 tournament, but you could win.
But neither one of us had been there in like a year or more.
It had been a while, literally a while. And maybe like I had checked like the website a few weeks back because I had gotten the itch. And one time you won the tournament actually. Yeah. And it was what? They given away $900.
It was a good amount of money. Yeah, probably a little over $1,000.
It was good money. So for our investment, $60 to play take your night away and have a good tournament, and it was fun. So randomly one day I was like, fuck it. Like I want to play in this tournament again on Wednesday nights.
Did you ask me if I wanted to go? I don't remember.
Yeah, so this is the thing. So earlier that day, I had looked on their website and I was like, let me just look into this shit a little bit. I was like, because we had found out about the place through a friend, and that's always how it comes out. And the friend was shady, and he had put us onto the spot, and we were like, all right, this is a little shady. It was like the top floor of like a State Farm building or some shit that like no one would know about. So I was like, let me just look at this shit randomly. Like, how would a regular dude find out about this spot if he just wanted to play in a tournament? So I just typed in like Connecticut poker tournament, like local houses or something like that.
First shit, right?
And the first shit came up. So I'm thinking like, hold on, wait a second. Like, if a regular dude could just look this up, one, it's illegal. Two, if a regular person could just look this up, what's stopping the cops or anybody from just saying, I'm going to raid this place?
Probably bribes. That's what I would have assumed, that they're giving them a little cut to keep them open.
But knowing the people who ran the shit,
yeah, maybe
you'd be like, these dudes aren't smart enough to be paying off the whole Connecticut Police Department.
Yeah.
So I hit you up later in that day, and I'm like, yo, what are you feeling on maybe just hitting up this tournament later? $60, let's get it, old time's sake. And I think you were just like, either like, nah, I'm good, or like, I got to do something.
Might have been editing for the show.
Yeah, editing or something. Yeah, you're good with the editing. And you're like, yeah, I don't get out till late with the show, So I was like, yeah, no big deal. I might just stop by and do that shit. Maybe next week you'll come with me. You're like, all right, I'll try and get it done. So that night, without you, I go to the spot in Connecticut, get there, pay my money, start playing the tournament. Everything's going well. I'm actually doing well. I'm like playing well for myself because I don't have patience. Middle of the tournament, I'm playing in a back table with my back to the front door. I hear the loudest knocking down of the door in the world. I didn't know what it was. I hear the door get kicked down, and I hear 2 shots fire off.
What?
I hear like pop, pop. So I'm assuming, at first I don't know what the fuck is going on. All of a sudden I hear, everybody get on the fucking ground. Nobody move.
Did you think it was a robbery?
I didn't know what to think.
Oh.
So I just got on the ground, right? And I'm like, all right, if I'm going to die, I'm going to die right now.
Oh.
So long story short, turns out the place got raided. But I mean, I had spoken about, this is another story that, my father talks to me about, is that like when everything gets raided now, it's all, everybody's SWAT uniforms and fucking huge ass guns.
Police
militarization to the extreme. You would have thunk there was ISIS people in the fucking room or some shit. Turns out the place got raided, so the dealers get arrested. The people playing are allowed to leave. They're not involved. The head guy goes down, but it turns out the place had like $4,000 there. There's 2 guys in charge. I mean, people got persecuted, but
prosecuted.
Sorry,
and
whatever.
Persecuted, actually.
Whatever the fuck it is. All for $4,000, but just the experience going through that of like, it was like 25 people coming through in full SWAT uniform, holding guns in people's faces, everybody in handcuffs. That was one of my fucking craziest stories.
No, that's scary as shit, man. Especially because I remember at the time being so fucking stunned by it because we hadn't been there in so long, and the one night you go, they raid the fuck out of the place.
And randomly in that morning, looking up like how could the police find about this? And they later said that they had been monitoring the place for like 3 years or something.
Yeah, collecting all the evidence on that and shit.
So, but I mean, but those poker stories go for days. I'm sure everybody's got stories like that.
When I hear stuff like that, man, again, I think like it's so fucked up that they can't just run their small business and shit. Like, because you know what it is? It's Mohegan and Foxwoods in Connecticut that are like, go get those motherfuckers.
Exactly.
That's what it is. They don't want anything cutting into their money.
And meanwhile, the guys arresting everybody, these guys are all probably playing cards on the weekends and probably gambling football games on
no fucking
Sundays.
question. You think those cops
like,
are all clean? Please.
It's just like it's such a double standard.
All right, now let's move on to let's talk about the actually I'll leave it up to you. Either Vegas stories, okay.
Oof.
So I have one that's worth telling. Maybe 2 if I'm feeling dangerous.
So
either
we're throwing the whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Oh, that's
right
out the window,
window,
man. The Secular Talk audience is going to know at some point about Vegas and just how big of a tool I am. And we didn't go to Vegas together. For people who are listening right now, we didn't. Corin and I weren't actually there together. We went separately.
Yeah.
But either way, we could either do Vegas stories or we could jump right now to the 16-year-old kid.
I mean, I got a good Vegas story.
All right, fire away, man. Let's do Vegas.
Okay. So I'm in Vegas. This is my 21st birthday. So I'm just like, all right, let's go nuts. I think I went to Vegas, no joke, with maybe $600 in my bank account. Bad move. So I get there and I'm like, all right, try and be smart. Maybe like right when you get there, don't play. And I was there for, I think Vegas, if you go for 3 days, I think anything more than 3 days and you don't have like a big bankroll or you're not a baller, you're asking for a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, especially the way we gamble.
Yeah, the way we gamble and the way like you just like food wise, anything wise. Like you want to have a good time, you want to go out. It's just hard to maintain a bank account in Vegas because everything is just.
And side note, Vegas
money.
is my favorite place in the world, and yours too, probably, right?
Yeah, that and Dominican Republic is a lot. So I'm there, $600. Get off the airport, first thing you see, because like slot machines and shit. And I'm not a slot player, so I'm like, all right, avoided. Fucking mission 1, done. Don't gamble.
Then you gamble.
Then I get to the hotel. We check in, throw my bags down. I'm like, okay, it's afternoon. We have no plans for this whole time. Let's go gamble. So I go and fucking gamble. I lose $500 right off the bat. I'm stuck to a fucking $100 for the rest of my trip. But I can't call my mom and say, hey, give me money, because or my fucking dad, what are they going to do? Fuck no. long story short, I turned that $100 into like $1,200. I went on a fucking run.
Wow.
So last day, I'm going to sum up my trip quick. Last day I'm in Vegas. Me and my boy want to go to a strip club. So we go to the top shit. We went to, it was Spearmint Rhino.
Is that the biggest one?
I think that's the biggest one.
I went there too, and the beers were like $20 or something.
Beers are $20.
Insane.
Yeah. And at this point, I think I had lost the $1,200. I was down to like $60. So didn't have enough money for a lap dance. Didn't want to start throwing singles out because I needed to get the fuck home. So this stripper, God bless her, she pulled the ultimate, you're 21, I know you're 21, I'm a stripper veteran, I'm going to get you for everything under the fucking sun.
Oh.
So I'm sitting in the strip club, right? And I'm thinking, none of these strippers are going to get me. I'm here just watching for free. I'm going to see all these women, and I'm beating the system.
Wait, were you tipping at all?
No, I wasn't tipping at all.
Oh,
Fuck
that's
that
fucked
shit.
up, man.
I might be drinking waters. So I'm like, no, it was the last day, and we hadn't hit the strip club, and I was like, let's go to the strip club. Like, we got to do that. It's Vegas. Spearmint Rhino's the top shit. And in Vegas, they give you free limos to the strip club because they just want to get dudes there who will spend money. So they picked us up at our hotel in a fucking limo, took us to this place. So I'm like, this is golden. Like, I got a free limo to the thing. I'm about to see women. I got $60 left.
You got to do the old move though of like sitting in the corner with water and you look
yeah,
around.
So
like,
I was a little creepy.
I'm not here.
Yeah, exactly. I was a little creepy. I was like in the corner.
They'll
whatever.
find you though. They'll walk up and be like, "Hey, sweet cheeks."
So the hottest girls are coming by me. Hey, sitting on the lap. And I guess in a strip club it works like this. The strippers start to find out who's spending money, who's not spending money.
Yeah, of course.
So these strippers must have gone to the back and been like, these two dudes, 21. They probably obviously don't have any money. Don't pay them any mind. So here comes this one lady. She was not.
She's gonna crack the shell. That's what she's gonna do.
She's not the best looking lady, but she, and I hope my girlfriend and my dad are not listening to this story, and my brother and shit. Oh, because I haven't told.
You
should
not have come on this show, man. I mean, what do you gotta know about Secular Talk, dude?
Everybody listening, I don't know you guys, but I hope for my family's sake.
Oh, don't worry.
I'll mute this part or some shit.
I'll one up your sadness in a second.
Yeah, I'm sure you got a good one too. So, back to the story. This lady comes walking by. She's hot, but she's not the hottest one there. She might have been like the older veteran. She was like the Shane Battier of the shit. Good looking.
So she's not good according to the stats, but somehow she's good.
Yeah. She still got run on the court.
She just helps the team somehow.
Yeah, exactly. She got run on the court in the finals game, and she could hit you with like a 6 for 6 from 3-point line in that game to win this shit.
Right.
So like you're like, yo, Shane Battier's back. So she came over, and she pulled some magic on me. She bent over.
I love that. I love the way you said that. So anyway, she's there. She bends over.
No, but she did some smooth shit. She didn't even have laces on her like shoes or whatever. But she was like fumbling with her feet or something, and somehow got me to go back, for a lap dance.
Oh.
And mind you, I don't have enough money for this lap dance. So I asked my friend, I'm like, yeah, can you spot me? He's like, yeah, I don't have that much money either. I got to hit the ATM. So
this is already getting disastrous.
So
I mean, this is getting bad.
So I guess this was the weirdest thing because he goes to the ATM and he's got a stripper with him too. And all the ATMs in the casino, in the strip club were down.
What?
And I guess it had never happened. So we went to one ATM. Doesn't work. He's like, yo, it's not my card. Like, your ATMs are down or something. They're like, all right, you try a different ATM.
Oh, no.
So we're walking to the next ATM with both of these strippers.
Oh, no.
Doesn't work.
Oh, no.
They had like 4 ATMs we tried. Didn't work. Meanwhile, the amount that they charged us, he didn't have on his card. They charged us like $200 for like the worst lap dance, like for one song ever. And I've been to a lot of strip clubs and I've gotten good lap dances. It was terrible. So they somehow, like, their whole system was down and they had like made an announcement or some shit. So long story short, they got the system back up. They charged his card like $600 that he didn't have, that he might still be paying back to this day. We went home miserable. We were eating dollar menu the last day. That's the most I could say of that story, pretty much.
I don't want to know the rest.
Yeah.
For the sake of your
so it turns out the stripper had given us her number and was like, next time you're in Vegas, let's play golf and this and that, and you're great. And I was just like, I left the strip club like,
she likes me.
Yeah. I was like, I'm the man. I came to Vegas and did it right. this girl likes me. She gave her a number. No.
That
no,
always
no.
happens. That always happens.
Yeah, so...
There's always one guy that thinks, oh, man, the stripper likes me, bro. Yep. I know she likes me. All right, so now I'll tell you my incredible rookie mistake in Vegas. So me, my buddy Brian, my buddy Will, we decide to go to Vegas. And I think it was a graduation present from all of our parents, I think. We're like, let's help them go to Vegas or whatever. So we had it set up where Will's dad, who's like, he's an entrepreneur, he makes a lot of money, he knows a bunch of people. And there's one dude who he knows who always goes out to Vegas. He's comped everywhere. He spends a metric fuck ton of money. And so he's, he was able to, I think, get us a comped room because of this guy. And what happened is we were going to meet this guy when we flew out there. So when we get to the airport, problems already start, okay? The airport in New York, I mean. So me and Brian, we hop on one plane, but for whatever reason, somebody got bumped. Will got bumped, and they wouldn't let him on that flight. He had to go on one that was 5 hours later or something like that. Okay, so me and Brian were like, well, that sucks. See you later, buddy. Well, we didn't know what to do. They made it seem like you guys have to get on this plane, and then he'll come 5 hours later. We apologize for the inconvenience, yada, yada. So me and Brian show up. When we get there, we tell Brett everything. We got to come back 5 hours because of Will, yada, yada. So then I proceed to watch with this guy, Brett, okay, the way he's acting. I'm not talking about me and him sit and watch TV. The way he's acting looks like a fucking nature documentary. Okay, so what do I mean by that? I mean, you know how in the nature documentaries they like stalk lions or gorillas or whatever, and they're like, and the yellow-backed orangutan, and look at the way he eats the ants. Yeah. Yep. So I'm looking at this guy, Brett, and he just takes off. Okay, when I say he takes off, I mean me and Brian are just following behind this guy going 900 miles an hour. This dude looks like he's about 70 years old, even though he's 50, from all the heavy drinking and smoking and everything. This guy's a party maniac, it's clear. He's got a voice like this where it's all raspy from doing all these drugs all these years. So he takes off, okay, and we have to follow him. He's got some sort of a car, limo, or whatever, that he's like, all right, we wait for Will. All right, we're going to go to these casinos, have some fun while we wait for Will. So me and Brian, we're young. We're like, fuck yeah, we're in Vegas. This crazy dude's leading us. That's all right. We're fine with it. So we start hitting different casinos, right? And we're Vegas rookies. We know nothing about Vegas. I had no idea. I thought it was the coolest thing on the history of the planet that you can get a glass of some sort of alcohol in one casino, carry the glass to another casino. I'm like, wait, that doesn't make sense. What are you talking about? That's this place's glass, not that place's glass. That doesn't make any sense, right? So this guy starts pounding drinks. He's like, I won't drink. Let me give you a chunky monkey. I'm like, what did you just, is that English? He's like, a chunky monkey. So he gets me and Brian these things called chunky monkeys. Now, these things taste like cookie dough ice cream with a sprinkle on top of Jesus, okay? Just
and it's alcoholic?
Yes, it's alcoholic and it tastes amazing, right? So, of course, another rookie mistake, we start pounding these fucking things. So, like 6, 7 chunky monkeys later, me and Brian are sitting there.
That sounds so weird. Sorry.
We're watching this guy, Brett, okay? He goes to high roller slot machines. When I say high roller, I mean high roller.
Really?
I mean, he's sitting in the rooms that are the rooms where the fucking Prince of Bahrain or whatever comes in and says, let me spend $1 trillion on this, okay? So he starts jacking $100 bills in this machine, starts fucking pulling the thing. He's like making 40 grand, losing 40 grand, and he just walks away at one point and I think he ended up like 30 grand or something crazy like that, right? So he's walking around. Now, at this point, me and Brian are absolutely positively wrecked. The fun lasted for about 2.5, 3 hours, and then by the 4th hour, we're sitting there. The life is completely out of us. This guy, Brett's still going 76,000 miles an hour walking around Vegas, okay? And then finally, it's time to get Will, right? So we go and get Will, and he's, normal. He just got off a flight. Yeah. He's like, hey, guys. We're like, I'm a chunky monkey, bro. We're almost incapacitated. This guy, Brett, has also had 47 chunky monkeys, but he's Brett, so somehow he's sober because he drinks like a drunken fucking Viking on a regular basis. So now here is where the story becomes this is going to seem like nothing as I describe it, but you would have to be in one of our positions to understand it. So we need to get dressed and then go to dinner because it's about that time now.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we're already wrecked. The ultimate Las Vegas rookie mistake. You're so excited when you get there. It's like, a dude who has sex for the first time and is finished in 37 seconds.
Yeah.
The rookie is, okay, I'm going to be a beast. I'm going to be I'm done. Okay. That was us with alcohol. We get to Vegas and we're all excited and we just drank too much.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to go back and change to go to dinner. I kid you not. We opened the door. This is the first time we're in the hotel room. We were running around Vegas drinking with this guy, Brett, and then we picked up one. So we walk in. I collapse on the bed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I can't fucking move. Dude, when I tell you I was out, I went into the deepest, dizziest alcohol-induced sleep known to man. Okay, one of those sleeps where you have to stay asleep for about 11 hours to feel okay when you wake up, even a little bit, right? You ready for this? About 20 minutes later, they wake me up.
Oh.
So I'm like, if you talk to them, okay, to this day, they're 48% sure I was dead.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm dead and my eyes are fucking all over the place. So I'm like, wake me up. So they had to shake me 94,000 fucking times.
Oh.
So I finally get up, and I am in the most pain, close to the most pain I've ever been in my life.
I can imagine.
And then we had to go to dinner, and when I went to dinner, I kid you not, I ate more than I ever ate ever. Because I don't know if this is true or not, but I heard this somewhere that if you eat a shitload of greasy food or you fill your stomach up big time, that actually helps with stopping the absorption of alcohol or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's true. It could be a wives' tale or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I ate so much for that reason. Now, the rest of the trip was relatively tame because we fucking popped our cherries so hard right when we got off the plane. Okay, so our Vegas trip was sort of... I don't know if it was dampered as a result of that, because I had fun gambling and stuff. I got smart with my gambling and whatnot, and I drank, but it wasn't anything crazy from there on out, because we popped our cherry hard when we got there.
So are you happy that happened the first day? Because, it turned you into a vet very quickly.
Well,
in a way.
It's a good story because it shows how much of a tool I am. Like, I'm such a rookie. I'm like, I'm going to have a Vegas, chunky monkeys.
Yeah.
And then what happens? I'm like, I want to sleep for 11 hours, go away.
Yeah. I'm curious to try these chunky monkeys now.
Oh, they were fucking delicious. But I might have like the feeling of what I had then. It's one of those things where, you get sick, you eat something, you don't want to eat that thing again.
That Irish car bombs.
Yeah. So there's one other story. I'll just tell this one real quick, and then we'll finish up with the 16-year-old kids. But so when we're in Vegas, we get into a cab one night to go somewhere, I don't remember. And we did do a lot of like cool things. So we went to see Penn and Teller one night. Yeah. That was fucking awesome. We saw Louis Anderson stand-up comedy. Really? That was funny too. I mean, the dude looked like he was going to die because he's so fat and like out of shape and everything. But he was funny. No, he's not. He's still alive. And yeah, I'm happy. Louis, keep it kicking out there, buddy.
He probably listens to your show.
I doubt it. But if he does, hey, Louis, you're the man. I wish he was one of my favorite Family Feud.
Oh, really?
Like, survey says.
So many of them.
Yeah, I know. So anyway, we get in a cab to go somewhere one day.
Mm-hmm.
And the cab driver, like, it's, again, this is like a scene out of a movie with some accent. I don't even know what accent it is now, but he's like, you guys like to party? You guys like to party? And we're like, bitch, what the fuck?
Do we like the Barbies?
What are you talking about? Do you guys like to have fun? Do you like to party? We're like, isn't that... Everybody likes to have fun. What
I came to Vegas. I heard you have a great library out here.
Yeah, like what are you saying? He's like, girls, you like to have fun, girls. I'm like, oh yeah, no, that's awesome, yeah, definitely. But we didn't even we're rookies. We don't even know what that means. Like, we think a guy's just having a conversation with us about girls. Yeah. Meanwhile, he's like, would you like me to take you to Brato to get your cocky sucked? So he hands us, get this, a binder. Like Mitt Romney, a binder full of women. He handed us a binder full of women. He's like, here, man.
Your driver?
He's like, I don't remember any of that part. I was busy looking at the girls. So he hands this to me. I'm looking through the pictures. Funny. I'm like, honestly, these are the most gorgeous girls I've ever seen in my life. And we didn't know at first whether we're talking about strip club or brothel.
Uh-huh.
And he was talking about a brothel.
Oh.
So I'm like, oh, good googly moogly. He's like, you guys. He's like, would you like? Let's go. Let's see. Have fun. No. I'm like, okay, let's do it. Whatever, no problem. And I got
again, just you being like, yeah, take me wherever you need to take me.
I got Tweedledee and Tweedledum next to me, who are even more rookies in Las Vegas than me, and they're kind of quiet about it. But I'm probably a little more wild than they are.
Yeah.
Not that I'm wild, but I'm more wild than they are.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, yeah, let's fuck it, let's go. So they're like, oh, okay, whatever, I guess we're going. So we show up to this brothel, right? Now, for people who don't know, I think it's just outside of Las Vegas, prostitution is legal, but inside it's not.
Maybe, yeah, I don't know.
I think that's the way it works. But so we get there, and I'm not sure if this is in Las Vegas or outside of Las Vegas, okay? So there might be some legal issue here. So we go in there, and it looks like, honestly, you know what it looks like? Kind of like a tanning salon. Like you walk in, there's just, like a desk and a little lobby, and then there's like a hallway, and you see like rooms in the back, but you don't see what the fuck's going on. So two people are behind the desk, and we start talking, and we're like, oh, okay, so this could be fun. This could be interesting. So...
the cab driver come in with you, or he just drop you off?
No, he's sitting out front.
Oh,
We're
okay.
like, just wait, because we'll see what's going on here. We might need a ride afterwards somewhere.
Yeah.
So, they're like, okay, $80, $110 for this, and blah 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 blah. And we're like, okay, where are the girls? They're like, we can't show you them. I'm like, wait, let me get this straight. I'm supposed to give you $110 right now to have sex, and I might have sex with the Hunchback of Notre Dame. Are you out of your fucking mind? Like, this is insanity. He's like, it's actually the law.
And you probably said exactly that.
He's like, this is the law. We can't have a lineup, or for whatever reason. I don't remember the exact reason they said. And honestly, thinking back now, it might have been because we were inside the city limits of Las Vegas, and prostitution is illegal within Las Vegas, but outside it would have been legal. I think that was probably what was going on. But he refused to do a lineup for me. I'm like, how am I supposed to fuck somebody if you're literally telling I don't know what they look like? I'm like, okay, well, this book that the dude gave me, do I get to pick? Can I pick here? And he's like, no. And so I'm like, it's not even that I'm arguing with the dude. I'm just flabbergasted by what's happening.
Yeah.
I'm like, how am I supposed to have sex? Well, you could give me Andy Dick back there. I don't know what the fuck is gonna happen. So then he says, how about this? We'll give you the discounted rate of like $80 or whatever it was. And I was like, I still can't fuck them if I don't see them. And he's like, sorry, we can't do business.
It's like, you're hurting your cause.
So I looked at my buddies, and I'm like, well, I don't know about you guys. I can't do it. And look, you guys, everybody who listens to the show knows me. I'm not opposed to prostitution. I've gone to massage parlors where they jerk me off, right? So, and I'm fine admitting that. There's no problem. I don't do it on a regular basis, but actually, my dad got that for me one time for my birthday. I don't know how old I was, maybe 22 or something. Here's a present. He's like, all right, son, you're going to like this. So afterwards, I'm like, Dad, I like that shit. That was awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm not opposed to prostitution, right? And we're talking about, this is an area where it's regulated. They make good money. There's benefits. There's, I've seen documentaries about how they like what they're doing and whatever. Yeah. So I wasn't opposed to it, but they wouldn't let me see. So I was like, I'm sorry, we can't. And then we left, and I felt kind of like a dick when I'm in the cab. No, because the cab driver, like, I think he has some sort of deal going where he gets a cut or whatever. And it's like, he just drove this whole way and he's not getting that. And I also felt kind of like less of a man for whatever weird reason. I'm like, sorry, I couldn't fuck the prostitute.
Yeah. Well, to add on to that point real quick, I think I had a cab driver taking us to the hotel, and he was like, yeah, if you want women, well, and like they give you those little, like, I don't know if the listeners have been to Vegas, but when you walk on the strip, they slap like those little things, and they give you like a card with the hottest girl on it and a phone number. So I showed it to the cab driver. I was like, yo, is this true? If I call this number, this girl will show up? He was like, first thing he says was, you're lucky if you'll get a girl that'll show up with teeth in her mouth. And I was like, thank you for that information, and I chucked that flyer out the fucking window.
Oh, that's disastrous. All right, so now let's finish up with the 16-year-old kid and the two teachers, and then we'll call it a day. Yeah. This is fun, man. I really like doing this. We're having a great time here. So for people who don't know the story now, and by the way, this is another reason why I'm so happy we're doing this format of a show as opposed to my show, because if I was talking about this on my show, I'd have to say, and his name is Dennis Johnson, and her name is blah, 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 blah. And I don't give a shit. I just care about the idea behind the story, because that's what's interesting to me. So there's this 16-year-old kid, and his two teachers in his school who are super hot, and they're in their 20s, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, they were young.
Upper 20s?
Yeah.
I think upper 20s is what they were.
Just graduated, I think, for LSU. Oh, yeah. No, one of them had been teaching at the school for like 12 years, I think I read. Or
So
something.
she might have been in her 30s.
Yeah.
Okay.
One was young, though.
Yeah. So I think one was 20s, one was 30s, whatever.
Yeah.
They looked young, okay?
Yeah.
And they're attractive, let's be
Yes,
honest here.
both blonde, attractive.
And this 16-year-old kid somehow ended up getting in a threesome with them.
Yeah.
And did he fuck them on a regular basis or no?
He was. And then I think it turned into the threesome action.
And didn't he also say that he said, like, he was bragging about it? That's how he got caught, right?
Yes.
Yeah, bro, I'm giving it to Miss Johnson,
Yep.
right? And
Yep.
everybody's like, oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So
Like, you're the man until one kid is like...
now they're on trial, right? Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do I even need to say anything?
I mean,
isn't that just ridiculous?
it's ridiculous, yeah.
And look, to be fair to the other side on this, the part where I see their point is there's always an issue with authority, where it's like if this person's your official authority figure and you're under them, that the assumption is, well, there must have been coercion involved because there's some person has authority over them, so they could say whatever and they have to do it.
Exactly.
And there's definitely a point to be made there, and that's definitely something to bear in mind. But to me, the thing is this. I've maintained forever, if you listen to Secular Talk going all the way back, I always said the legal age for everything should be 16.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're 16 and up, guy, girl, whatever, and you engage in something like that, even if it's okay for society, let's say, to frown upon you, let's say the school took disciplinary action, that's fine too, okay?
Yeah.
But for legal action, I'm like, come on, man.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
a little
that's
much.
fucked up. Because I know not only when I was 16, when I was younger too. That's why I'm conservative, I think, when I say 16 should be the legal age for everything. Because I know when I was 14, I was doing stuff, you know, with my girlfriends or whatever. So it's like, girlfriend at the time, not plural. I wasn't that big of a dog at age 14. But am I right? That to me seems ridiculous.
Yeah, no, I agree. At 16, you know what you should be doing and what you shouldn't be doing at that age. But I mean, I could see the other side too, where like you said, they are a supervisor type of role, that they know more so what they can like. Maybe he gets an extra 100 on his next test or something like that. So it gets a little shady there.
But that's why I think disciplinary action makes sense.
Yeah, disciplinary
like,
action
hey,
definitely makes
you can't fuck
sense.
your student.
Yeah.
You know, you're suspended for 3 months without pay.
Yeah.
You know, something like that.
Yeah, but to the other side of it, that kid is the man.
Yeah, man. I mean, there are teachers, I'll just call her Miss M from our high school, where at the age of 16...
Let me get this. The only thing that she...
Yeah, I know.
But
talk to her now. Hey, Miss M, holla at me.
Yeah,
she doesn't
seriously.
even. I had never had her class, so
I didn't have her class either, but I would go to her class and
be
learn
like,
that
"Hey."
language. Yeah. But if you were this kid, would you tell your friends if you did that thing?
oh fuck yeah, would you?
I mean, like,
I would
you
only
have
tell
such
it
a
to
good
my
thing
friends
going.
I would only
yeah.
tell it to my friends who I know would be able to not blow it up.
Yeah.
You know, so maybe I'd tell a handful of people, 2-3 people. But how would you? I mean, honestly, how would you be able to not talk about that?
I know.
Like, man,
So-
I'm 16. I'm doing this
Yeah.
insanely hot
Yeah.
teacher. I'm living in a porno.
Yeah. So, but I don't get what the teachers get out of it. I mean, like, those teachers, like.
See,
I'm
that's
sure,
another
like,
aspect of this where the other side has a point, because it is creepy. Because
Yeah.
it is like it really does have a lot to do, I think, with power and control, and they get so much
Maybe.
undying attention because it's a young kid and because they're so inexperienced.
Yeah.
But to me, look, the only time the law should get involved, like, statutory rape is a weird thing because it's like there's consent, but we're saying by law there can't be consent because of extenuating circumstances. So statutory rape is a weird thing, and it makes sense in some circumstances. But once you get into the area where it's debatable, to me, I think you should lean more on the side of let it be.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree.
Like, statutory rape, I get it. If somehow a 13-year-old consents to sex with a 38-year-old, like, I'm still going to prosecute that person because 13 is too young.
Yeah.
And even if there's
What
so-called
about a guy
consent, you
teacher?
can't consent because that's...
What about a guy teacher with a girl student?
And this goes back to the point I made earlier. That may be even more creepy, okay? But if the female is over 16... I'm going to have to let it go. Again, I have, legally speaking, because I think there's a big difference between you could have these conversations morally and ethically, and you could have a conversation about the power struggle, and you could have a conversation about disciplinary action with the school. But to get the law involved and say, we're going to lock your punk ass up, to me, that better be a clear situation of right and wrong.
Yeah.
And it becomes clear right and wrong when the ages there's no debate anymore. Like there is, see, the thing that's so weird about these discussions is there's a certain reality to everybody going through puberty at sort of a different age.
Yeah.
So somebody might be
Slippery
sexually
slope,
active at the age of 14, and it's almost like they really can do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas somebody might be sexually active at the age of 18, and even then they're not mature enough.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, 100%.
So there's different levels of maturity, there's different levels of, biological advancement, but what the law has to do, because this is the only thing you can do in a society with so many people, is you have to draw a hard line somewhere. So then it becomes, where is it most rational to draw this hard line?
Mm-hmm.
And we've decided, in most places in the U.S., 17 and 18, that's the line right there.
Yeah.
I disagree with that line.
Uh-huh.
I think that line should be 16.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so either if it's a guy or a girl, man, woman, if it's 16 and the person's older, I have to let it go. Again, I'll criticize it, I'll critique it, I'll do disciplinary action if I'm the school, I'll disincentivize it, I'll punish, I'll do everything else, but I'm not going to throw you in jail.
Yeah.
Whether it's a guy, girl, whatever. Okay, even though I might have more of an issue with the guy doing it to the girl,
Now let me ask something. Do you know how it works in Europe? Because I
do not know. No,
I was reading something earlier that said if it happened in Europe, like the kid wouldn't even get in trouble.
Yeah,
like,
I
the kid would
don't
go home
know.
and the dad would say like, "Good job, buddy. Let's go
I
get a beer."
don't know what the laws are, but I do know that
They're
my
probably
dad
more
would say,
lenient.
"Good job, buddy," if I came home at that age and did something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know what the laws are, but to me, like even the idea of statutory rape,
Mm-hmm.
I'm with you if you're talking about somebody who hasn't gone through puberty. If we're talking about a 13-year-old, I wanted to do it. No, you didn't. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Exactly.
You're not biologically, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you're not
no, I
advanced
agree
yet.
with
There's
you
no
100%.
puberty. You're not
Mhm.
physiologically there. Your mind's not ready, et cetera, et cetera. But if it's 16, I gotta let it go. I can't lock you up for that, because even though it's creepy, even though it's weird, yada yada, go right ahead.
Mm-hmm.
And look, let's be honest. In most cases, with guys who are 16 and the teachers that look like they did, it's not, it's creepy from a societal perspective, but from internally when they're doing it, no, it's not.
Yeah.
They're probably all enjoying it.
Yeah, you pull the high school, every kid, I think.
Yes,
would say yes.
you just pulled a fantasy.
Yes.
Okay. All right, man. We'll end it here, but dude, this was so much fun.
Yeah,
I can't
they
wait.
got to know us. I mean, they got to know me. They know you, but now they're knowing the backside of you.
Well,
No.
I'm a good man.
Yeah, no,
anyway,
you
no,
are.
I don't give a shit. You think of me however the fuck you want to think of me. But I know you're not here for the next few weeks. 2 weeks or 1 week? What is it?
Yeah, next weekend I'm here, and then 2
Oh,
weekends.
you
after
are
that,
here
I'm-
next
Yeah,
weekend.
yeah, next
so
week
you
I'm
could
here.
do a podcast next week?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
great. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. And by the way, we're officially calling this the Kyle and Corin podcast.
Yeah, I'm
So
with that.
you just listened to the first episode of the Kyle and Corin podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Love you to death. Kisses, and we'll see you next week. Well, you'll see me on Monday with the regular show where I have to actually read and research, which is not all that fun.
He'll get dressed up nice like he always does.
Yes, instead of being half naked like I am right now. All right, later, guys. Love you.